You guys know I love podcasting and listening to podcasts, and I'm guessing if you're listening to this that you love podcasts too. Have you ever considered podcasting yourself? It is a great way to reach your audience, grow your know, like and trust factor, and not need to show your face unless you want to. If it is something you've thought about but you don't know where to start, then head over to becomeapodcaster.uk/BAP quiz, BAP quiz, to access a 2-minute quiz that will help you work out what type of podcast might suit you. That's becomeapodcaster.uk/BAP quiz. You're listening to the Mindset and Action podcast, bringing you the map to grow and streamline your business in 2023. I'm your host, Donna Eade, your go-to gal for all things podcasting, planning and productivity. And I'll be bringing you all that plus mindset goodness from experts with knowledge to share. Let's make 2023 the year of success in your business. A goal without a plan is only a dream. Brian Tracy. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today for this quarter review. So I've decided that I'm not actually going to sit here and say quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, because it's gets a little bit confusing, because if you've listened to my previous review, you'll understand that my quarters are not the normal year quarters. I decided to change my year and go April to March, so my quarters are off a little bit. So I'm not going to go quarter 2 review of quarter 3, blah, blah. I'm just going to talk about the last quarter, how I did, and the next quarter, what I've got planned. So this is your reminder episode that we have come to the end of a quarter. It's time to take stock. We have only got one quarter left in 2023, wherever that lands in your year. So it is a really important time to look at your goals and understand where you are and what you can do with the next 3 months. So I wanted to go over the goals that I had for the last quarter, and I did okay, I think. So you might remember that I said that I had an affiliate launch that was coming up and it was going to take up quite a bit of my time. Well, if you've been listening to the podcast recently, you will know that I have been supporting Amy Porterfield and her promotion of Digital Course Academy, which closed its doors last week. So that completely finished in that quarter, and I really enjoyed the process. It was really interesting to look behind the scenes of a larger creator in the digital space to see what it is that they do with their affiliates, how all of that works, and to see kind of the back end of what the team are doing and what they're trying to achieve. So that was a really useful thing for me to do, regardless of the amount of money I did or didn't make from it. So I was really pleased to be part of it. And I have been a huge fan of Amy Porterfield for many, many years now. I have said before, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have this podcast. So I was happy to support her. I have brought Amy's products before and have thoroughly enjoyed her teaching style. So I was happy to be part of that affiliate program. So that was the first one. The other targets I had for that quarter was I wanted to get another 2 speaking gigs. So if you remember, back in May, I think it was, I went to Whitstable and did a talk about podcasting. I had planned to get 3 speaking gigs in that quarter. I didn't. And the goal was to catch up and get another couple booked for this quarter. I didn't get them booked in for this quarter, but I got them booked in this quarter. So in October, I have 2 speaking gigs for a couple of Facebook groups for people that I know. So I'm really excited to go into these private Facebook groups and deliver a talk. And I'm going to be talking about how to be a good podcast guest, which is really exciting because I think it is something that needs to be taught. I don't think people are really au fait with how the podcasting guesting system works. And if you are somebody who's looking at starting to guest on podcasts and doesn't really know where to start, I highly recommend Kelly Moser. She is a New York girl who absolutely knows her stuff when it comes to how to get yourself booked on podcasts and how to be a good guest. So definitely go and follow her on Instagram. She has currently, and I think her branding's I think she's doing some changes, but currently it's a purple dress she's wearing in her Instagram picture if you want to make sure that you've got the right one. So I have landed those 2 speaking gigs, so I'm really pleased about that. Now, the other thing that I mentioned for that quarter was that I was going to look at launching my book club. Now, I did try, although I didn't really have the launch process in place and everything, and it was for August, which is always a bit of a sticky month when it comes to starting new things. And also I was doing this affiliate program and I think it was all a bit much. Now, the weird thing is when I look back at my annual goals, I had the book club in quarter 3, which would be the quarter that I'm currently going into. So I was like, why did I even put that on my plate? I don't even know. So it didn't happen. We didn't open, but I do have the wait list open and I am looking at starting in January. So if you're interested in joining a book club, it's £5 a month. And that's just to cover the fact that I'm going to be doing specific podcasts for the book only. I'm going to be hosting that live call once a month, and we're going to have that accountability where I'm going to be sending you messages and making sure that you are staying caught up with the book in the meantime. So there's quite a few things that I'm going to be doing in there. So it is a small cost of £5 a month to join that. You do save if you sign up for the entire year. And if you sign up for the entire year, there's a few bonuses that will come out as well. So if you want to join me in the book club in January and we will get some really good books on the go, then you can join me over at donnae.com/book club, all one word. So if you head over there, you can register your interest. If we get enough people registered before the beginning of November, we'll look at doing a book in November. We'll have December off so we can focus on family and Christmas, and then we'll come back together in January. So that's if we get enough people. If not, we'll start in January with the new year and we will find some great books to read and share together, and we'll learn together as we go, which I'm really excited about. So that's the book club. That's where we are with that. Now, the next quarter, where are we going and what have we got on our plate? Well, I've got something exciting coming, but it's actually going to be coming in the new year. So that'll be the following quarter. So definitely stay tuned for my next quarter recap because I'm going to tell you then. But it's very exciting and I'm going to have to get the plans in place and get the motion going in this next quarter. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but know that I'm working on something behind the scenes this quarter. Then we have obviously the book club. I'll be talking about that a lot more, getting some feedback from you guys. So if there are certain things that you would want in the book club, or if there are things that you've seen in others that you didn't like, or books that you'd like to read with me, then, you know, I am happy to hear feedback this quarter on what you would really like from the book club. So feel free to message me on Instagram. And then I am looking at getting some more guest episodes booked in for myself. So I have a guest every other week, as you know, on this podcast. I would like to do some guesting on some other podcasts. So I've done a few, and I've got one coming out in December, so that's already recorded. But I would like to book a few more guest slots on some podcasts. So if there are some podcasts out there that you think, do you know what, Donna, I think you would be really good on this podcast, then please send me some information. Send me some info over on Instagram, because it is actually really quite a challenge to get booked on podcasts, because there are so many people looking to guest, and there's not many podcasts out there in the grand scheme of things. So I saw some stats the other day and thought, well, no wonder I'm struggling. So definitely, if you've got any ins, or you know anybody who's got a podcast and you think I'd work for it, then I would love to hear your suggestions. But that's something that I'm going to be looking at over the next quarter, is really getting a plan in place, getting some structure around reaching out and getting booked on podcasts. So not necessarily recordings in this quarter, but getting a system set up for it. Then the last thing, and probably the most exciting thing that is going to happen this quarter, which is actually action that's happening this quarter, is I am going to be hosting a pod camp in October. So it is a live virtual training called Launch Ready Pod Camp. So if you are somebody who's looking to start a podcast, especially if you want to get it before the end of the year, then this is for you. So there are some scary stats out there, and one of them is that 90% of podcasters quit after 3 episodes. And I think there's a number of reasons for this. One of them is that people are overestimating their expectations of what a podcast is going to do when you first launch it. I'd like to remind you that podcasting is a long-term marketing strategy. It is not something that is instant, and it takes time to grow. So that's the first thing. The second thing is they launch without a strategy, without systems in place. So they do a couple of episodes, maybe they've recorded all 3 before they actually put anything out, and then they haven't actually booked time in their diary to record or edit or upload or sort the social media, and they think they're just going to do a quick episode each week and edit it, and it doesn't happen, because podcasting is a proper process. It's like any marketing project that you're working on. It takes time, and you've got to book it in or it's not going to get done. So a lot of people fail right there because they don't actually make the time for it and they don't have systems in place to get it done. The other thing that they do is they don't set up a launch strategy. And this is what the podcamp's really going to focus on. So with a podcast, you need to look at it as if you're launching a brand new product or service. And a lot of times people don't think of it like that. They just think, I'm just going to post it up like a social media post, but that is really going to work against you when it comes to getting traction with your podcast. So the Launch Ready Podcamp is going to start on the 11th of October. It's going to be live trainings. I think there's going to be 3 of them. There might be a bonus one. I might be adding some more stuff into it. I'm just sort of getting everything together for it right now, but it's going to start on the 11th. So if you are interested in coming and joining me live for those trainings and getting your launch system ready for your podcast, which I believe you should do before you ever hit record on an episode. So if you've got a few episodes but you haven't published yet, or you're just starting out and you don't know where to start, come and join me for the podcamp. So it's going to start on the 11th of October. You can head over to donnae.com/podcamp and register for it there, and you'll get all the details. And as soon as I've solidified all the trainings and when they're going to happen, I will send that information over to you. The replays will be available, but obviously it'd be lovely to have you there live with me over those trainings. And then I will be also closing the last cohort of 2023 for my Start Your Podcast program. So that last cohort starts on the last Monday of October. So if you are interested in getting your podcast started in 2023, that is your last chance to join me for my program. So if you come and join the podcamp and have some fun with me there, you'll get to learn my teaching style. You'll get to get some information and get started before that last cohort takes place. And then if you want to come and join me in the Start Your Podcast program, you are more than welcome to, but that will start and it will finish before the end of this quarter. So that is what I have coming up. That is what I did last quarter. I'm excited to hear from you guys. Let me know what it is that you have achieved in this last 3 months, and what are you going to be planning on in the next 3 months. So come over, catch me on Instagram, Donna_Eid_. Let me know what you've been up to. I'm really interested to hear whether you have hit your goals, missed your goals, changed your goals, and what your plan is for the next 3 months. So that's it for today. I hope that has made you stop and think about your goals, and I will see you guys back next week. And I believe I have a guest episode for you. Yes, we are talking vision boards next week with Vanessa Buck. I'm really excited to share that episode with you. Vanessa is really passionate about her craft of vision boarding, and with us going into the final quarter of 2023, and maybe you're looking at what your year is going to look like next year, it's a great opportunity to sort of really hone in on the vision you have for your business and your life. So I hope you will join me for that one, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Don't forget to hit those stars and leave a review of the podcast where you listen if you found value in what you heard today. It's a free way you can help the podcast reach more people just like you.